And that's where we're gonna kind of sort of finish off here in my war tab. And so
Yeah.
I've arranged them by my top my top powers, and here at the bottom, near the bottom, is war dogs, because they're sort of my team number 10 or 11 at this point. And
Yeah.
I'm still, very rarely, but I'm still occasionally using skilletary. They're not super high. Most of it's Punisher and Red Guardian. They're probably, again, team number 11 here. And I'm using them on, I don't know, Sinister Six or some other random assortment of garbage that I find that still occasionally works. I'm not going to talk too much about this because this was a huge issue back in the day. We're kind of well past this now at this point. I just wanted to share with you. And then I have Tangled Web with, I don't know, I stuck like T'Challa Yondu together because I didn't know who else to use them with here. Originally I had some Death Seed like Magneto and Psylocke, but now I'm using them with Undying just for shits and giggles. So we'll see that as we go on. So I have obviously A-Force Doom in here. Eternals, this is whatever, right? You know, I use this to clear Hero as Guardians, typically. And these don't matter. Very rarely do Minerva. I should probably stick Black Bolt in there just in case. But, I mean, largely it doesn't matter because they just blow up everyone and everything's dead. And that was my biggest disappointment with Hero as Guardians, was how easily they get wiped out by Eternals. Like, if they're not all built properly, somebody gets killed, and then Icarus just like blows them both up, or all of it. The whole field's gone, and that's just how it happens.
So Hero as Guardian requires such a massive investment to be okay.
Yeah, and I actually regret the investment I put into them, even despite the War Scourge. Like, I felt I could probably have invested less and still done as well as I did. So yeah, there's a bit of extra resources I probably regret there. We have Dark Hunters. Now, I do use Silver Surfer, typically against Heroes for Hire still, but I don't know. It's more of if I'm fighting like 1 million plus Heroes for Hire, the extra stripping of the charges on Surfer, typically I just like having that. It's just a little bit of ease. For me, I don't use Mordo, even though he got the tag. My Mordo's still way down there at like 60k probably. Then we have Weapon X, and I don't know why Sabretooth is... Oh, it's because I'm in my Crucible tab, that's why. So yeah, this is my Weapon X team here. They should be somewhere in the 800-ish K power, but I'm not really investing any further than I've already done. I'm not putting any more resources in there. And then this should be higher than it says as well, but this is Undying with the 3 Death Seed I have at the moment, just because... I don't know, sometimes it doesn't matter who you match them up with or who you put in this team, but I just kind of... They're filler for me. At the moment,
Undying is the most, probably they might be the most ridiculous team that's come out in a long time. Like, I can't think, like, I'm seeing like 1.2 million punch ups with people only using Undying against some insane teams.
I saw the Tadano Mac video of just the two of them, right, taking Wormhole, like a huge ass punch up, like crazy.
It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers.
And I think
how good they are.
Even my Zim, I think, is higher than some other people's, because I actually put 3 yellow into him. And
I don't have any red on him.
Yeah, so I have 120. It's because I actually like the character, and so I was like, okay, I just wanted to make him a little bit stronger, because why not? I had a shit ton of dark promotion credits. I was like, why not? Whatever. So I just did it. I know I probably didn't need to, but I did it anyways. And we have Bionic Avengers, Secret Avengers Kestrel, and I should have more. So let's leave the tab and actually go into my proper tab. I should have more teams than that. It probably didn't show up because of Crucible. And we'll get to my roster a little bit here. Oh no, is that it? That's weird. I thought I had more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Gamma. Gamma's in here now. So I do use them on defense, on offense to beat Gamma. Gamma versus Gamma, right? Is there any other way reliably to beat Gamma? Because I have not found it on a one punch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there's a unique team that I don't know who came up with it, but it was so it's Zombie Iron Man, Spider-Man 2099, Dorm Hela, and Spider Weaver.
Okay.
And that matchup is it struggles against the largest Gamma teams out there. I went against almost a 1.8 mil Gamma in War yesterday or the day before, and I tried it, which basically was a 600k punch up, and it did not go well for me. But I knew it wouldn't, but at the same time I wanted to try, because I had been punching up 200-300k into Gamma with that particular team. The Gamma versus Gamma is It's a reliable matchup, but you're either going to be lucky because if the opponent goes first, if their Red Hulk goes first, then it's a pretty easy one tap. If your Red Hulk goes first, then you got to be patient and you gotta save that special and
I like that you said that actually, because I did find that the turn order matters actually in terms of like you probably still can win, but it's a bit sketchy sometimes. I've had it kind of be a bit sideways.
You have to be patient, and it's going to look dicey, but it's not dicey.
Yeah, normally I do win, but sometimes I've had it where like I have lost some members along the way, and it's not like a full clear, like five of my guys left over. That's normally how it's been for me.
But... Oh yeah, so somebody's gonna die, probably your Hulk.
But yeah, I mean, I that's like, so that's why I have him on offense. I am more offense focused, I would say. So that's team 1, 2, 3, 4. Weapon X is 5. Dark Hunter 6, Eternal 7, A-Force 8, Tangled Web 9. Yeah, so I probably have a little bit more that's not listed. They're probably not super high powered. But I've been trying to restructure my war. And so what do I have on defense? Because I can't go into my war screen, I have, of note, I have Dormhold on defense. Maybe I should take that back, but I see a lot of people use that. I have Infinity Watch, I think, on defense, because they're not listed here. And I have Unlimited X-Men as well, and Axemen on defense.
Yeah, so you're in a weird position from a war standpoint.
And I'm in Platinum 2. We got demoted to Platinum 2 from 3, so we're in that 2-3 threshold right now.
Yeah, with your TCP, you're in an awkward position where you can't go to defense heavy, and you've got to be very offense heavy. With 27 mil TCP, you're going to be leaning more into your offense than your defense, because you don't really have the opportunity to build everything. Like you have to pick and choose what you build, and war defense is sort of irrelevant and not really worth it anymore. You know, a few months ago they changed the war bonuses and whatnot to make it to where there was a huge advantage offensively, and whenever you have that offensive advantage, it really just doesn't matter how good your defense is, unless you're, a 40 to 50 mil TCP. And, different story.
So what would you, I mean, again, like I'm not really missing a ton of things. I guess it's more of a case of raising certain characters higher. The only character, like I said, going back to sort of War Dogs Wakandans, that's probably my only recent team that I just flat out have not really engaged heavily with at this point.
Yeah.
And now that we know with the characters coming largely of this winter patch, they're not, surprisingly so far, not War or Crucible focused yet, though there's an unknown character at the end. Yeah. And I'm surprised, honestly, that we weren't, but I guess because of the season for Crucible, I was expecting Rebirth potentially to be a Crucible team or something as they flipped to a new season.
Yeah.
But it turned out that wasn't the case. So I guess now this gives me some time, because Rebirth is not an immediate priority. We'll probably need them for Doom 4, but I don't think it's an immediate priority. So that might give me some time after I finish Death Sea to sort of raise some of my Crucible teams probably first, and then maybe I can get some double dip value from War. So if I do War Dogs, I might get some double dip value, is what you're thinking maybe for me?
Absolutely. I mean, just because you're big three, right? You're as far as Shuri, Black Panther, and Okoye, they've got that cross utilization where both are one. They're both for Crucible and for War offense. And then you've got the other two, and in particular, the reason that Nakia and Black Panther 1MM have Crucible viability is because they're new characters. They've got meta kits where they're crazy fast. They've got insane power. They've got good defense. They check a lot of boxes from an offensive standpoint, regardless of where you're using them. But if you are going to go the path where you do invest in War Dogs and want to use them in Crucible as well, don't put them on defense. Like it's.
I was just about to ask you that question. Team. Okay, so offense for sure. Yeah. All right, good to know. So we're gonna go through my roster more broadly, and assuming you can see my screen, I want you to
Mhm.
like point out anytime that you see something that's a bit weird. If they're hearted, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm gearing them. They're just, I don't know. I want them to be on the top of my screen. Sometimes I heart characters, and then when I do my videos, people are like, "Why does Boilon have that heart? Does he know something that I don't know?" And so that's kind of funny because I had like aim infector and researcher hearted for the longest time. People are like, "Does that mean aim rework's coming?" I'm like, "No." You know why I have them? Do you know why I
Farming.
have it on here?
Yeah, farming. I have the
Yeah,
same thing. I've got
ISO farming.
yeah, I've got 5 minion characters that I keep hearted at all times, specifically for ISO farming.
Hand is on here. These are different like classes, and so I just do that
Yeah.
to check to see what my ISO situation is. But obviously Captain America for more recent reasons, and Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. Actually, you know, it's funny because I have my Gear Tier 14 from Omega Red, right? So I'm already, you know, partway there, which is nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Kingpin, I wanted to do him. I wanted to put more gold into him, but I don't know. He's not a super. It was the whole. Actually, we didn't even talk about Underworld. So my Underworld's on defense right now with not Spiderweaver. I don't know who's in the 5th spot actually. Now that I think about it,
They're so much fun.
but I
You're
don't.
missing
But I
out.
don't have Mister Negative. So I think once I have Mister Negative, I'm going to pull them off defense and then use them
Oh,
on offense, and that's
yeah.
what I'm going to be doing there. So that'll give me an extra team for War. So that'll kind of fill my
Yeah.
slots in a little bit there for offense.
Yeah, so for the free to play players out there that haven't had the opportunity to play with Mr. Negative yet, he oh my god. You know, so talking about fun to play, this team is such a good time. They're so fast and they've got such great synergy, and the things that they do are just bonkers. And literally you fight watching Darkhold melt as they attack your team is one of the most satisfying feelings.
And we're getting free shards for him too.
It's amazing.
And I think that
What's that?
we get free shards for him. We're getting 5 a day, and
Yes.
so it's only
Yep.
going to take you about 2 months or so to get him to 5-star actually, which is really not long at all, and that's
No,
huge.
So this release method for Mr. Negative, in my opinion, I wish they would do this with almost every character. Now, granted, don't wait 2 months to start
that
it.
sucked when we didn't know what the hell was going on. But you know, but now that we do know, you know, it's the how fast you're getting because 5 a day is quite a bit. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
a lot.
yeah, it's wonderful, and you know, as a Kraken, I think it's I look at it as a extremely fair way to release because it gives the people that are willing to spend to get the advantage a small window where they have that advantage, but it guarantees the free to play that they're going to get these characters, and I love it.
So you
I'm
how
obviously
big
not
is
doing it
your
with
Mr. Negative's
every-
pretty big, right? Like I think I saw.
Oh,
in
he's
your...
huge.
Okay, so
Yeah,
so
he's
now that
huge.
you've played with him and stuff, how would you recommend him for? Because we're getting 5 shards a day, would you recommend him for other content for newer players? So as a villain character, say for example for Scourge events that require villain lane characters, is he strong standalone? Like does he
Yes.
have value there that he could just, you know, as a newer character as well with the power creep? Like do you think he's
Yeah,
got value
so
there to build standalone?
so he's got a lot of value because he's a villain. He's city. So obviously, with various scourges, he's going to have significance there. You know, when Tower comes back, they're going to have significance there. And then I was just, you know, as a Kraken that does stupid things sometimes just to see what'll happen. I brought him up to Teal Gear 16 and took him into Dark Dimension, and he's amazing.
Does he hit hard?
Oh yeah. He's fan. Like you pair him with a couple other members of the team, and they just absolutely waylay people. It made City so easy in DD5.
So even beyond War, like you would recommend him as a build for other players as well?
Yeah. So okay. So here's the issue. So he is a mystic character.
Is that the one issue? Probably the biggest issue is his gear.
That's the biggest issue. Being a mystic character, like, because there's a lot. I mean, the amount of mystic characters that are critical to playing this game. I mean, from Eternals to you know, some of the Infinity Watch,
but they're unfarmable. So let's talk about
Yeah.
the new player specifically. I know this is not a new player video, but you know, a lot of these big mystic characters that we're talking about aren't actually available, whereas Mr. Negative is. So now that his release method is there, a lot of these big ones we're talking about, like Eternals or some members of Darkhold, Agatha, or whatever, and Spiderweaver even, right? Like, are not available for players who did not do their event.
Very
So
true.
then maybe that Mr. Negative does present as a good option for those people who can't do what we just said, those other characters.
Yeah, I mean, very, very possibly. I listen. I don't want to.
I didn't want
I
to
can't
focus too high
speak.
on Mr. Negative because I don't have him. So I really want him, and I do plan on building
Yeah.
him when I do unlock him. But
I'm always hesitant and scared to speak for the new player free to play experience because I can't relate.
true. But he's a friendly release. 5 stars a day. We have to
Yeah.
agree that that's 5 stars in 2 months is great.
I think it's amazing. I think it's an amazing release. I wish that, like I said, don't do it with every character, but if they
Yeah.
did this type of release more often, this is a huge win for Scopely that not a lot of people have talked about. But I think a lot of people haven't talked about it simply because it was too late. Like
Yeah.
2 months is way, way too long to do this.
If they did this
to-
twice
to
a
do
year,
that
because I
release.
think that in 6 months you can get him 7 star, something like that. So if they did this twice a
Yeah.
year, that would be really great. I think for the community.
Mhm.
I think. So let's
Absolutely.
go through the rest of my roster. So I don't have a lot of tier 17 characters. I've only done it on the horseman characters. I'm avoiding. I honestly don't think that I am going to get anywhere near a big apocalypse. So frankly, I'm just hoarding my tier 17 minis beyond the horseman characters. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
Some of the tier 16s that you might see are previous Dark Dimension 5 characters because I did them back in the day. May not necessarily do it now. Obviously, Web Warriors is kind of questionable, with Rebirth now, and so I don't know what's going on with City. Different conversation. Dark Dimension 5 City is going to be a mess because now people aren't going to want to do this anymore, right? So,
No.
Vision, Shang-Chi, Omega Red. So I have a lot of characters that I did for Dark Dimension 5. Hela's at gear tier. I would actually take her to 16, but she's super gear heavy on pieces, and that's what's kept me away. But I did gold her. So they give me the stats.
Yeah.
So that's nice. I do have a lot of 90s, actually. And so this is what I was talking about with Gamora earlier on. So yeah, I'm probably... I guess I don't have the uniques. That's weird. But so I can't do that. But I'll at least gold her. That's a good idea. Take her to 90.
Absolutely.
Get some more stats
Absolutely.
out of her. And Spider Weaver. So Cloak and Dagger are dead, right?
Like in particular, like so. Before you move on from Gamora, I just want to point out, like, you've got a 7 red star Gamora. Those bleeds are devastating.
That was a
Devastating.
previous arena meta, Gamora.
Yeah.
So that's why that happened. So squeezing out some additional value out of her would be fine, and I probably have tons of look at that, I got like tons of skill crap, right? Look at all these minis. So that probably can happen, and that might make it a little bit easier to like do the attacks I'm already doing, but maybe a little bit more efficient, or maybe doing something I couldn't before. And so Cloak and Dagger, they're pretty much done. Like I'm not touching. I have 7 red on Dagger, but like I'm not putting the gold in now. Kestrel, 85 to 90. Is there any value in that? I don't know. Like, does it matter?
Well, so
I don't need her for raids for that point. So let's just eliminate the raid aspect of it.
Yeah, so Kestrel is she's turned into this plug and play character. It's crazy that Kestrel has sort of fallen pretty fast. She was literally the best character in the game for a year and a couple months. And then all of a sudden Morgan Le Fay came in and was like, sit down, girl, go on.
Yeah.
And she's been sitting ever since. So now she's pretty easy to one shot. Like her health, like everything that she does is great, but her health is a little light.
Yeah, it could be better.
So getting her up to level 90 will help that out a bit. And make her a bit more viable in some of your war attacks and some of your crucible attacks. And again, previous statement about talking about tower. I know we don't get tower as much as
That's true. Yeah.
Like and I don't really care that we don't get tower that much. It was sort of fun, and then it just sort of became a mundane task because they stopped changing it.
Yeah, so sort of like a tack on value there, I guess. So
Yeah.
Phylavel to 90, would you do like all the Infinity Watch to 90? Is that what you would say at this point, or some
I would, yeah.
more than other? Yeah. Okay, I'm just 30 tier 16.
absolutely.
I did it for Dark Dimension 5 actually.
Again, Infinity Watch is still a top 5 team in the game. Like they've fallen from that top spot, but they didn't fall far. Like most teams, like you look at Black Order fell fast and hard. You know, they went from number 1 to like number 12. Like overnight practically. And the Infinity Watch, that's not happening to them. Like, don't get me wrong, they can't hold a candle to Darkhold. There's a lot of teams out there. Well, there's a few teams out there, but that's it. It's just a few teams that they can't touch.
I was
Everything else they destroy.
I was gonna say something and I lost my train of thought. But so Infinity Watch did not. Yeah. So basically, my goal right now is minions because of the Scourge. You have to focus on that at some point. Death Seed, and then after that, I feel like I have some space to kind of play around a little bit, and so that's where I'm kind of like wanting to bump some of my roster up, whether that's in gold, probably in gold, sometimes in gear, you know. So I think that we're leaning towards golding my Infinity Watch and War Dogs. I think that's what we've kind of come to a conclusion a little bit on things that I could do so far. And I'll let you take a look at some of my other characters. I don't know if I need to finish up like 90 on Darkhold. It's not making a huge difference, but maybe I'll do it just for OCD reasons. But you know, I'm not getting a ton of value out of them right now. You know, that where that 1 level or 2 levels would make a significant difference. And then now we're starting to get into the sort of like some gear tier 16, but a lot of gear tier 15s that I just stopped touching. And so I don't know if I need to go further on any of these. Some of them are also they're lower power because they're star rank. You know, there's nothing I can do about that one.
I would also play with those. I would get those Young Avengers up to level 90.
Okay.
Just because they are such a fun team to use, and if you're really wanted to take advantage of some of the big punch ups that they do, as far as like into Infinity Watch, into Weapon X, you need to make sure that they
Crucible
can take
in War. Or both?
So in Crucible in particular, but you can absolutely use Young Avengers on War offense. Like they don't get some of their stuff, but they're still a great team. I would obviously recommend keeping them on defense, but I know people are taking them off defense and using them offensively sporadically just to see what'll happen.
I mean, they're all at 87, and I don't remember why 87 necessarily, but yeah, so that's an extra maybe I don't know, maybe $1.5 million per character, so that's viable, I guess. Moondragon to 90 as well, you'd say, probably, for the stats. Maybe Gear 216, I could do that right now, actually, but...
And skill. There you go, see?
I'm not going to do it yet, but I will consider it.
Click it!
I have issues when it comes to clicking the full equip buttons. I'm like, no! What did I do? Adam Warlock, I don't know because it's Mystic. That's why I don't know if I want to do that at this point.
I wouldn't.
I could, but I don't want to waste the gear, probably.
The gear's too important. That teal Mystic gear is way too important.
But he is 85, so should I take him to 90 as well, just like everyone else?
Eventually. I think...
He's the last person, or...
Yeah, I would look into the Wakanda first because you got a lot of investment that you need to work on there to get them up, and that's going to be relatively costly. Yeah. So I know a few levels doesn't seem like much, but when you look at a lot of other characters that you're looking at, it's all about appropriately spreading out your resources.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and everything else here, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's any significant value right now for some of these characters that are sort of 150k and below. But let me know if you... And anyone watching this, you get to see Boilon's roster as I scroll through it, too, if you want to know what the hell I'm doing. I have Dazzler down here. So Abomination, so he's going to become farmable in that Cosmic Crucible store, and that will give me the opportunity to get him to 5-star and activate that 5 red. So that'll definitely bump his power up there without me doing anything. Really.
So getting those Gamma, getting them to level 90 because they're such an important team. Again, Crucible and War.
Let's actually just I want to see where my broader, how many of them are actually above. They're all at 85. No, yeah, so Hulk's at 90. They're all at 80. Abomination's 86 actually. So are there any characters that should I get them all to 90 or? Yeah,
absolutely.
So good value across both game modes in Crucible and War.
Yeah, that one. They're the best team in War. Period. In statement. Like nothing comes close. And then in Crucible, they've become a really good team as well. But if you've got them, if you don't have them max leveled out, like we were talking about earlier, Uncanny's going to walk all over them,
Right. Okay.
and they're just going to start popping them off and deleting them.
Okay. So let's step back a bit then. So should I do the gamma first before I start building war dogs? Then, as far as gold,
Yeah, I think so.
Just finish it off and just before moving on.
I would, yeah, I would focus on finishing Gamma first, and then I would move to War Dogs, and then I would move to Infinity Watch in that order.
I'm not really finding that the levels past 85 makes a significant difference for unlimited X-Men. Maybe that's just because they're so powerful that like I'm not, maybe a couple efficiency points, but I'm not losing because of it.
So the problem, the Unlimited is a scary team to invest into from a resource standpoint, specifically because they don't have much use outside of Crucible, with the exception of Rogue. They're not great in war. They're not, you're definitely not using them in arena. You're not, you just don't use them.
I like double dipping, so if I can get if I can get an additional game mode like Gamma, then I feel like I'm getting more value out of it, and so it feels better about putting my resources in. So that's why I kind of have, I've taken them to 16 because of Apocalypse, but I that's where I kept them.
Yeah.
And I don't think I need them more.
I mean, one day you will, but today's not the day.
So Gamma more important. And the rest, I don't know. I don't know if there's really anything to say about any of these characters. I never did Uncanny with Magic. It wasn't, as being as a very light spender, it just was not on my radar because I was doing other things at that time. And I think it's probably too late to go back to it, even though I really like that Magic skin. I just don't think there's a time
Magic
for
skin
it now.
is so dope. It's so dope.
Zombie Iron Man 85. Do I need him to 90? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know if that's any opinion on the levels of Zombie Iron Man to 90. Does it make a difference?
So I've seen some really big Zombie Iron Man, and let me tell you, going against a massive Zombie Iron Man is sort of a nightmare. But at the same time, he doesn't have to be big. He can be small and be super and you can be very, very successful with him being small.
And my A-Force, they're still doing what I need them to do. Like, my Spider-Woman's only, 1475, but, I'm still punching up a fair bit on Young Avengers with Doom. And so, I feel like I've maximized, I found this right middle point of value out of A-Force where I don't need to go much further, and I'm clearing that Young Avengers that I need to kill.
I would probably heart Spider-Woman if I were you, from the standpoint of she has a lot of plug-and-play potential in Crucible. She has a lot of plug-and-play potential outside of her team because she's so fast. She's, I believe, number 2 speed in the game.
Or are we thinking future Crucible season, maybe? Or, where she might fit outside of Age of X later on, or...
No, so she fits in the current Crucible season. Because
I've never seen anyone use A-Force though, in at least in my Crucible matches.
No, not A-Force, her.
So just her. Okay, I've never seen her used either, at least against me. So who would you use her with then?
So you can put her with Eternals. You can put her with anywhere where you're wanting to get an early ability block.
Okay.
I mean, it works well. A lot of people like to use her and going against a Gamma on Crucible. And not just Gamma. Any number of teams, because she's just insanely fast. So you pair her with Eternals and Emma. Something along those lines. Throw in a Omega Red, so that you got 2 ability blocks on the team in particular. 2 ability blocks, the ability to rewind, the slow from Emma. There's a lot that a team like that can do against a lot of different teams.
So this is the reason why I haven't really built him up, is because I only have him at 3-star, and so his total stat potential is poor for me. Even though at Gear Tier 15, he's not even 100k. I'm like, a lot of that's because I have 5 red, but I don't know when the hell that's ever going to happen. The star levels on him. So I think this is as far as I'm willing to take him, and then I'll just have to get at some stage, right? Get the shards on him.
It's super easy to leave him off the team. I don't understand. His kit, I think
it's damage. It's almost like pure damage. A lot of it is pure damage, but there's not really There's some heal block, I guess, but by and large,
I mean, so his bleeds are the bleeds that he puts on characters are one of the things that sort of pops that has a heavy synchronization with Spider-Man 2099, specifically in Crucible. If you look at Spider-Man 2099's passive, there's a call out to hold on, where is it?
there is the 15% damage that he gives on his passive, but maybe it's just not enough. Like, it doesn't feel impactful enough that like having him off is not gonna make or break.
So in Crucible, if Spider Weaver is an ally, lower damage reduction for all enemies with bleed by 25%. That call out from Spider-Man 2099 is what really makes Noir super popular. I mean, not super popular, but super impactful. But that's a specific call out to Crucible in particular. The odd thing about Noir, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around, and I think it may be a call out to a future rework. Minions,
the Hydra thing,
is the Hydra thing. Because there's no reason to have that in here. Hydra has not been relevant.
People were just saying it's a lore thing. Like, it's just a lore call out to him.
It's a lore call out, but what's the purpose? Like what value does?
Well, nobody's using them, right? So I don't know. Maybe they're doing. It could be a preemptive thing that maybe this is going to happen later on. I put out a poll on my Discord channel about whether or not people still think a minion rework is coming on that 6th character. Who knows? Maybe there's a Hydra. Maybe we're getting Arnim Zola. Like, who knows? Maybe there's a Hydra character in there. We'll have to find out about that. I don't expect you to call out anything on below this, because this is probably pretty typical. I would love to be able to do more with Green Goblin, but now he's bio, he is bio, but now with the Rebirth call out, I did not buy the Armory Orb offer, and so for me, the G14 minis are for bio anyways. I got only 119 of these things, so I cannot just go and blow, even though I took them to 75 with the intention of taking them into 14. I don't think I can click that button anymore.
Once you have Mr. Negative, I think you'll definitely want to reevaluate that decision. But until you do, there's not much value there.
Yeah, I'm still probably at least a couple weeks out for Mr. Negative before I can start building them. But I do want to do that once I can, just to fill in the gaps. The rest here, I mean, again, there's Killmonger, but you said just work on War Dogs, and the rest.
And that hurts my heart, because of Killmonger. Boy, did they make a great skin for him. I like to just look at it and I
have it, but I still don't use them. I bought it though. I had a lot of costume credits, and so I did buy it. And the rest of the characters I don't really use too much. Nico Minoru is going to go into the raid store, so I guess I'll get to activate that 6 red. But again, she's Mystic, and so it's just not a huge priority for me right now. She can land her skills, and that's good enough for me.
Namor there, that's a good plug and play character on War Offense. Don't have to have a whole lot of investment in it either.
Yeah, I could take him to 75 and then G14. I have a lot of mutant minis, actually, so I might be able to still do that. The rest is, I don't know, like janky old characters, right, that we don't even talk about anymore at this point.
Yeah.
Moon Knight's still down there. Shadowland was fun, but I didn't really heavily invest in them.
I mean, there's some good characters that you can invest in down there, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of it's luxury. Yeah, a lot of it's luxury.
And Baku's way down the list here, actually. Magic's down the list.
Yeah.
We're getting to the dregs. There's the upgrade on Black Panther here. There we go. Look at that. I should probably do that. Maybe that's why I failed my attack today. That 10K.
Well, also, having him at level 70 as opposed to 71. Like, why'd you stop at 70?
I don't know. I have no idea. and the rest of the characters here, we're not minions, right? Minions, Korath, minions, Nakia, who doesn't have red stars. And the bottom of my roster, which again is more minions and Mantis. Oh boy, Mantis. We're not going to talk about her. She actually did not even last at all in the game, because she came out when Minerva came out, and Minerva totally eclipsed her.
Oh, but she came out. Her and Minerva
Ultimate
came
6.5,
out before I started playing the game.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't even playing the game yet.
Oh, okay. Well, so they came out around the same patch. Like, Mantis came out, and then one patch later, Minerva came out. Immediately, way better. It's like, and plug and play. Whereas, like, this is specifically to Guardians. It just did not. Yeah. It did not make sense. So, okay. So we've established through a lot of talking probably more than we needed to. That I'm going to be focusing after I get my SC done. I'm going to do War Dogs. I'm going to get some levels on my Infinity Watch. I'm going to finish leveling my Gamma. And that was a lot. Oh, Mr. Negative for Underworld when I am able to do that. And that probably covers at least a good month, at least, of progress. And I want to kind of and maybe just fill in the gaps on some of my levels on the characters that I am actively using. Maybe from 85 to 90, because the stats actually are quite big from 85 to 90. That's like a good 20k maybe a power. So
it'll be significant. It'll be. I mean, and obviously the bigger the higher the red stars, the higher that jump is going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, especially for characters that you're constantly using daily. Why wouldn't you? If you're using them all the time, all it's going to do is make life better.
So of the War Dogs, Black Panther for 6 red.
Yeah.
Recommend 7 or no? I don't think I can go to 7. 6.
I took him to 6 and then took him to 7 without hesitation. Soon as so I had him at 5 red, and then the moment War Dogs were announced, and I realized that the Wakanda was important for 2 different game modes, he immediately went from not on my recommendation list for Elite 6 upgrades to being. I think I've got him. Oh Lord, I've got him ranked pretty dang high.
I can make pretty much almost 4 6s. Now, my question to you then would be, Gambit or Hulkbuster, would you take them higher to a 6 now that they're going to become farmable?
Hulkbuster, no. Gambit, yeah. So I've got for me, I've got my ranking on characters that I recommend taking using Elite promo credits on is Omega Red 1, Icarus and Cersei 2, Gambit 3, Black Panther 4, Agatha Harkness 5.
Agatha, okay. She's not fireable, and so I can't go any higher because I'm, screwed on my yellow stars. But I guess I wanted to ask your opinion of the character, because we're getting quote wave of farmability. So I wanted to see what you thought about some of these new characters that are being released, especially the ones in the Crucible store. So Gambit I have a 5 red, but I'll be probably purchasing, because I have a crap ton of Crucible credits. I have 100,000 Elite Crucible credits, so I'm going to be getting Gambit to 6-star, probably Hulkbuster to 6-star, and Abomination to 5-star at least. And out of all these Crucible credits, as it keeps stacking, you lucky me, from a low spender perspective, that's great, because I'm not really buying these orbs, and we're not here to necessarily talk about it, but I just don't have a huge need to have to open these, and that's basically why I already cleared Dark Dimension 5, and I didn't need to open them. And if we're not getting a Teal 2 with tier 17s in it, then I didn't need it. So that's what I'm doing. That's what we're going to do. I think we've talked long enough. It's been way longer than I thought, but that's okay. We're probably going to have some... It's probably too late for me to say it now at the end of the video, but there's going to be timestamps probably at this point in the description down below. So if you want to take a look at a certain section, probably should have said this in the beginning, but I didn't know it was going to go on this long. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a 5-second blurb about that, and we'll have the sections. Yeah, I don't know who's going to see this now. It's a bit too late for that. But anyways...
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Thank you, TacoShooter, for coming to the video for this conversation piece. And of course, I'll have your Twitch. You don't have a YouTube, right? We talked about that
I do, but I don't have anything on YouTube.
We'll have your Twitch info in the description down below, so people can go check that out. If you guys are Twitch listeners, then do check him out, because he's on quite frequently and quite regularly. And he's... What rank are you on your number 4? 3 on Twitch. Marvel Strike Force. There we are.
I'm number 3 on
there
Twitch.
There we are. So go watch number 3 on Twitch. And hopefully we can have some more of these conversations, because I need to I really, and it took a while, but we need to kind of pick your brain. I need to pick your brain on how to do better, clearly. Maybe I just
Man,
suck,
I'm
but who knows?
Yeah, no. I'm excited to do that. Like I love doing this type of stuff. I love to help out any way that I can. And I think you and I have developed a friendship that I look forward to seeing where it goes in the future. For Twitch, for YouTube, for whatever, anything I can ever do to help, brother, I'm here for you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Taco. And that's the end of this video. So, what do I normally say? Until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon and Taco, signing out.